Alright, it's Monday. I got my drive shaft taken down to action. They're going to put two new universals in it, replace the broken section tube, straighten it, and balance it. So when it comes back, she should be 100% ready to go. And there was no wear, and the shaft itself was perfect. There was absolutely zero wear in the splines, the yoke, nothing. Which makes sense because you got a shaft that's meant to be transferring 200 plus horsepower, and in the upper shaft in those, that's the live shaft, and unless you're doing PTO work, the only thing that shaft runs is the rear transmission lube pump and the hydraulic pump. So at most, just running, you're probably transferring what, maybe 15 horse to run them two pumps. So that shaft basically does no work. It just exists. The only thing that's hard on it is the fact that it runs at engine RPM. So anyhow, that should be back or done and ready to go back in the tractor by the time I get back from Iowa. And should have bolts and should have everything I need to temporarily, permanently fix that center section until the time comes where I can get a new pin and bushings and stuff and rebuild that whole upper yoke. But so that's where that's at. But I figured since we're on the subject, I have talked about this particular book several times, and I've always said that I was going to bring it out and show you guys. And I never have, and I figured since we're on the subject, it's the perfect time to do it. So this is the design, manufacturing, refinements for the 4150 and 4180 tractors issued December of 1976. So this would have been 2 years into the production of the 4150 and a year into production of the 4180, because the 150 came out in 74 and mine's a 74, one of the first ones built in 74. So mine is one of the first 4150s. And then the 4180 came out the following year in 75. And then the 4210 came out to replace the 180 in 1978, and the 4175 finally replaced the 4150 in 1979. So there's your frame of reference. So at this point, there's still 3 years of production on the 4150 and 2 years of production on the 4180. And this is a 10-page list plus a back page for notes. But this is a 10-page list of all the things that got changed on these two tractors in 2 years of production. And there's still, figure, 3 more years of production to go by the time the 4150 is finally replaced. So there's still more changes that got made after this. But I managed to run across this purely by accident right after I bought the tractor, because I needed manuals for it, and I was on eBay looking for manuals, and this thing just happened to pop up. I was like, yeah, that's kind of neat. Might be something worth having. So the first 41, and this is the other cool thing, it says the first 4150, serial number 246001, was assembled March 6, 1974. So that is the build date of the very first white 4150. And as far as I know, the experimental 4150 is still around, because how many years ago has it been since Mike Volhurst passed away? 2-3 years? Might have been longer than that, because the last Rantoul Dad went to was 3 shows ago, so that would have been 6 years ago, and that's when they had the experimental A4T 1900 down there. And Mike was still alive at that point because he was driving it while it was down there. And he passed away, it was a year or two after. So it's been like 4-ish years since Mike Volhurst passed away. And for those that don't know, Mike was the one that was the lead engineer on the A4T project. And then he was heavily involved. I don't think he was the lead, but I know he was very heavily involved in what's called the low frame 4-wheel drives, which is the Charles City, what would become the 4150, 4180. And he still had, when they had his auction, he had the experimental 4150. It had all the experimental part numbers on it, experimental part numbers on the castings. It would have been interesting to know where that tractor ended up, but it was at his auction. And I wish he was still alive, because he would be a cool one to track down and do a video interview like what we're about to do, or what we've been doing, trying to do with everybody else. But I digress. Back to this. So, like I say, 10 pages of there's no, this is all service. All this does is give you service bulletin numbers and what is in that service bulletin. There is no specifics in here, nothing. This is just a bullet pointed list of every single thing in what service bulletin you need to refer to that got changed in the first 2 years of production. So, like for the engine example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 improvements just in the engine. Some of them are minor, like they went to stainless steel exhaust manifold shields, different air cleaner assembly, aspirated air cleaner, stuff like that. 3 changes to the cooling system. They changed the throttle rod to a larger diameter. Fuel tank. And this would make sense because the tank in mine has had several cracks in it, and another one showed up as we were driving home the other day. Apparently, on the early tractors, they had problems with fuel tank leakage, and they changed suppliers. And apparently, there's a reinforcing X stamped in the end caps of the newer tanks. Mine does not have that X in it. So apparently I need to hunt down a tank out of a later tractor that has the X in it, and it would solve the problem there. Obviously, last time we were out in Iowa, talked about how Al told me they changed completely changed the front frame. Originally it was a weldment, and then they made it into a stamping. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different improvements to the frame. An improvement to the wheels. Clutch pedal spring tension. Yeah, it's just all change to the counter shaft change to the counter shaft. They lengthened the reverse gear drive splines. Oh wait, length of has been nope, they shortened them from 3.188 to 3.88 to apparently allow a retaining nut to seat all the way. Transmission lubrication, this one was a big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different changes to transmission and over-under. Telescoping drive shaft, this is something that we just got into. Universal joints phased incorrectly. PTO telescoping drive shaft now has 2 inches more spline to retard wear. 2 changes to the differential and bowl pinions. The big one, they removed the inner supports. Which would be, I'm guessing, the backup bearing. Possibly. And they went from machined differential gears to forged gears. Brake linings changed. Full section on the over-under, because the over-unders and these were a bit of a problem. 1, because they were really starting to push the horsepower through them, and 2, because of the way they did the quill shaft going through the transmission. They had a lot of issues, and I had it on mine because mine didn't have the update done to it, and now it's got the update done to it. And it's surprising that it took mine so long to show up. But they had issues with pushing 80-90 gear oil into the 3-speed through the PTO shaft. Mine did that. Now it's got the update. Well, it's got, in order to do the full update, you have to change the quill shaft support, and I think the whole quill shaft. At least the quill shaft support. But mine's got their Band-Aid field upgrade fix for the earlier tractors in it now. 2-speed gearbox, that's specific to the 4180 because the 4180 did not use a 3-speed. It had a 2-speed that you had to clutch to shift your high-low. And I know that that had a lot of updates, and I know that it can be kind of hard to find parts for them now because that was the only tractor that they were used on was the 4180. When the 210 came out, they got the heavy-duty 3-speed, and then that 2-speed gearbox went away. PTO... 450 is now made from higher strength material. Hydraulic improvements. 3-point hitch, electrical system, charging system, clamping alternator mount bracket, first used on starter. Sending unit, radio of all things, hood and side panels. I need to do this to mine. The hoods on those have little pins molded into the fiberglass that sit down into pockets in the hood mount brackets. And originally, someone thought it was a bright idea to just have those a blind hole, and they would fill up with crap, and the hood wouldn't fit right. So they made them, drilled them through, so that anything that collected in there would just fall through and fall out. I need to do that to mine. Of course, mine needs the whole hood. Molding process changed to produce panels that were more resistant to warpage. It didn't work. Every 4150 hood's warped. Doesn't matter. Holes replaced with slots. It's all just, some of it's minor and some of it is very, very major. But like I say, this book right here is why the 4150 and the 4180, they're cheap horsepower. Don't get me wrong. If you take care of them, they're good tractors. If you get one that has been taken care of, especially if it's a later model one, it will serve you well. They are not bad tractors. It's just this right here is a perfect visual representation of why they can be like mine, especially since mine is one of the first ones built. Why they can kind of lead to some headaches sometimes. So, but like I say, this was kind of a cool little book. I'm glad I bought it. They're probably pretty rare because I'm guessing that this was a dealer only book, and there's probably one that has an even later issue date, because I guarantee you there was more stuff changed between 76 and 79 when production finally switched over full-fledged to the 150 or the 210 and the 175. So, but anyhow, this was just a video to kind of showcase this thing here. It's figured since we were on the subject, it was relevant and a good time to talk about it. So, with that being said, tomorrow we'll have a quick video talking about the trip to Iowa, what we can expect out of that, and then I will be gone the rest of the week, so you guys won't see any videos until probably Monday, Tuesday time frame. So, with that being said, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.